So, how do we stop Trump and the coup? Take it down a notch. Can we start with that? Is that really so hard? I know it would be easier if everyone bad would just... But that's not a plan, and they're not going to. It's up to all of us, right, left, and center, to fix this by de-escalating. So here's everybody's first assignment. Captain Kirk was blasted into space last week. And yes, you could use that to make a point about how we need to tax the super rich more, or how we still have problems on Earth, or toxic masculinity. Yeah, you could. But how about this? Don't. Just enjoy it.
Bill Maher is once again taking aim at the modern left, calling out exactly why Democrats keep struggling to connect with voters across the country. He's been relentless about one thing: the party's obsession with fringe issues, and its refusal to focus on the political center instead of listening. Democrats mostly brushed him off. That only pushed Maher to come back even harder. And this time, his criticism didn't hold back at all. As always, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss moments like this.
People despise each other. It doesn't matter what the issues are. When someone hates you, they don't hear what you're saying, let alone want to work with you on an issue. Today's Republicans don't have issues. Oh, they have issues. Just not like the ones they used to have. Balanced budget. They care about that about as much as they care about the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Owning the libs is the only issue. Obamacare wasn't a horrible or radical policy. It was desperately needed by many of the people who fought it. But it came from the people they hated. Democrats keep thinking they can win over voters who hate them with better policies. You're dreaming. Democrats are always asking, why do Republicans vote against their economic interests? Because they hate you.
Maher's main point is simple but uncomfortable. Democrats aren't going to flip Republicans, and Republicans aren't going to flip Democrats. By now, both sides are locked and their views are set, their media bubbles are sealed. And trying to persuade them is mostly a waste of time. The real battle has always been about the middle thieves, or voters who aren't glued to cable news or social media outrage they care about. Everyday life prices, safety jobs, stability. Elections aren't won by pleasing the loudest activists. They're won by reaching these quiet, undecided voters.
Know this syndrome very well. You can have an act that kills in a good way. But if you insult the audience, if you make them hate you, dead silence. They will not give you that laughter. And if they don't laugh, it's not comedy. It's alternative comedy.
More and more Democrats now treat Republicans as untouchable, refusing to engage with them socially or politically. That kind of attitude shuts down cooperation and deepens division. Republicans respond the same way, with equal distrust over time. That suspicion turns toxic. Each side assumes the other. Is acting in bad faith disagreement stops being seen as normal and starts being treated as dangerous once politics reaches that point. Compromise feels impossible, and conversation feels like betrayal. The result is constant outrage, endless stalemate, and symbolic fighting instead of real governing.
So, how do we stop Trump and the coup? Take it down a notch. Can we start with that? Is that really so hard? I know it would be easier if everyone bad would just... But that's not a plan, and they're not going to. It's up to all of us, right, left, and center, to fix this by de-escalating. So here's everybody's first assignment. Captain Kirk was blasted into space last week. And yes, you could use that to make a point about how we need to tax the super rich more, or how we still have problems on Earth, or toxic masculinity. Yeah, you could. But how about this? Don't. Just enjoy it.
Maher argues there should be room to recognize success no matter where it comes from. Politics doesn't have to work like a team sport where one side can only win if the other loses. If a left-leaning policy actually reduces poverty or creates opportunity, it deserves credit. If a right-leaning policy strengthens the economy or encourages growth, it should be judged on its results. Good ideas shouldn't be rejected just because of who proposed them. Supporting what works isn't ideological surrender, it's responsible leadership.
Enjoy it. And William Shatner, national treasure, spirit animal to virgins, and I assume reverse mortgage salesman, went for a rocket ride and came back. Not everything has to be political. You want to heal America? Shut the up for a while. Facebook went down for 6 hours a couple of weeks ago.
He also believes the country can't heal if everything is turned into a political weapon, when every issue becomes partisan people shut down and retreat into camps. Constant ideological warfare doesn't bring anyone together. It only hardens resentment. A healthier political culture values results over. Tribal loyalty disagreements will always exist, but progress depends on recognizing success even when it comes from the other side. Improving lives should matter more than scoring points or claiming credit.
But all the guys in America like Joe and Elon, yeah, you do have to win them back. The good news is you can. Elon has gone from saying, I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. To a week ago saying, I'm a little stuck in a bind here. I don't want to speak against the administration, but I also don't want to take responsibility for everything they're doing.
Maher's warning to Democrats is blunt. If they want to win again, they have to win back the voters they lost by walking away from extreme cultural priorities. He believes the party lost its way when it stopped focusing on everyday concerns and started catering to an activist fringe many Americans feel these ideas don't reflect real life, and it didn't just push conservatives away, it drove off moderates and traditional liberals who wanted practical leadership, not ideological experiments. Feeling ignored or lectured, many drifted right out of frustration.
Call that a gettable voter. Someone who's mulling a change. Maybe this will put quietus to the nonsense that Elon and Rogan too went to the dark side. I hear that they went to the dark. Yeah, like they got that The Last of Us fungal infection and became zombies. No, they just got driven away, because that's how politics works these days. One side gets elected precisely because the other side was just in power and pushed their agenda way too far and drove people in the opposite direction. The pendulum swings back and forth with people not voting for anything, but just to get rid of the latest extremist who tried to remake America in their image instead of just government.
According to Maher, the Biden-era left made a serious mistake by prioritizing ideological transformation over basic governing. Instead of stressing competent stability and problem-solving, Democrats leaned heavily into cultural battles. Debates over language, science, and gender were pushed into the spotlight faster than many voters were ready for. To a large part of the public, this didn't feel like progress. It felt forced. Maher argues that when leaders focus on re-educating voters instead of solving problems, they quickly lose trust and credibility.
The Republicans have taken full advantage of how snobby and out of touch Democrats have become to claim the title of party of the working class, but Trump's big, beautiful budget cuts Medicaid by $723 billion. Steve Bannon says a lot of MAGA is on Medicaid. Yeah, it is. 42% of MAGA voters say Medicaid is important to them. Let's see if they miss it.
That disconnect created an opening for Republicans. While Democrats were busy policing speech and scolding voters, Republicans positioned themselves as an alternative to what many saw as cultural elitism. Maher says this shift didn't happen overnight. Over time, the party drifted away from its roots. Empathy became ideological instead of human. His message to Democrats is clear: return to real empathy by listening. Instead of lecturing, only then can they reconnect with voters who felt ignored and dismissed.
Best person I've ever met. The one person in Hollywood who doesn't have a single enemy. Well, now she does. Because she didn't throw her husband under the bus when her husband made a decision about something which she's made plain she disagrees with. But that didn't satisfy the obnoxious posers on the aforementioned far left. Thousands tweet screamed at Cheryl things like, "How do you live with yourself? Do better. I can't even enjoy the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm with you in them anymore. It's no wonder Larry divorced you." Yeah, that's a character on TV, but okay.
Maher also pointed to cancel culture as a major reason Democrats suffered election losses. One example that stood out involved Cheryl Hines. She wasn't attacked for her political views, but for refusing to end her marriage to meet political expectations to Maher. That moment showed how extreme purity. Tests had become agreement wasn't enough, personal loyalty wasn't enough, total compliance was demanded. And that marked a dangerous shift, where social punishment replaced persuasion.
Yeah, well, you know what I think is not gutsy? Mansplaining to a woman, but of course not to her face. How she should sacrifice her marriage. Also, you could read something on Twitter that met with your approval. You want to know why I have a bug up my ass about the left more than I used to? It's shit like this. There's an ugliness they never used to have. The liberals I grew up respecting, none of them are like this. Going after the wife, even the mafia doesn't do that.
Taken together, Maher's critique paints a clear picture of why Democrats continue to struggle. Nationwide governing was replaced by ideology, persuasion was replaced by purity tests, cancel culture, and moral lecturing pushed voters away. Republicans didn't even have to do much, they simply let the left overextend itself. Maher's message isn't partisan, it's a warning, and a course correction. He's urging Democrats to reconnect with reality. Speak to the middle, tolerate disagreement, and treat voters like thinking adults. Until that happens, losses will continue, no matter how loud the activist base gets. That wraps up today's discussion. If you found it helpful, hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.